Hey, Prime, we need you here at HQ. Pronto. Hold on, I'm coming, Jazz. You little short, Prime. I can't move my head, Jazz. I got something in my legs.
Hello and welcome back, Transformer TCG fans. We're looking at the... Ow, stepped on something. The last 3 undisclosed chapter characters. I'm finally finishing a series. Yay! There was much rejoicing. So, with that... Yeah, I like the red ones too. I found a few card shops where you can buy just single, and found some red ones like this loose that kind of match the Energon blue from the set a few years ago. Okay, we're gonna go look at X-Bot, Xanbot, Q, and X-Ped-i-Bot, not to get mixed up with my Xped-i-Bots, like Blimpus and Stridor and Ramstador and all of them. So let's start with the Quintesson. Let's start with Q. Q. Let me see if Circuitous, if I'm pronouncing that. Yeah, I picked a word I can't pronounce. Circuitous Quint. He's a Quintesson. He's a specialist. He's also the faction Quintesson. It's kind of overkill, but some things, demand the traits. Some demand the faction. So I went ahead and sort of covered all my bases and did both. He is a 12-star character. It shows in his health. His attack could have been better, but I didn't want to make him too powerful. And yes, this is artwork of a whole new Quintesson that I created a few years ago. Even before, this is weird, even before Cyberverse showed those, they called them Quintessons or something instead of Quintesson. And one of the lead Quintessons had this big head thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I drew this first. I came up with this first, I thought. I'd never seen a Quintesson like that before. And I don't know, it was just really weird. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, I drew this guy first. If you go back and look and search in my archives, and the playlists and whatnot, you'll see the timestamp maybe for when I created and drew this character, and he's supposed to be floating. He's supposed to have all these little arms, and it's supposed to be kind of brain matter looking in the dome. And this is an image of Quintessa from the '86 movie, on both sides. And basically, when he transforms, he just these things flip out and gives him like some weaponry, and the dome thing kind of flips up, and his head is kind of underneath it. So this is his alt mode. Attack of 4, health of 16, defense of 0. This has stealth while untapped. So, at the start of the game, your opponent can't attack him. So that's kind of nice. When this defends, each orange pip. Oh gosh, I need to. When each orange, I'm saying it backwards again. Green, each green pip flipped for battle. This is what I need to fix Q. When this defends, each green pip flipped for battle adds +1 to defense for battle. Even though I say each green pip adds +1 defense for battle, it needs to be flipped. It implies it's flipped, but I'm going to fix that. I'll fix that. Then that's to make up for his Yeah, I got to cut my fingernails again. Inuyasha. You make up for his 0 defense, okay? So, and there's another reason why you're going to want green pip cards in your deck. Let's flip him over. He's still a specialist, still a quintesson. Nothing really big here. His attack goes up to 5. His defense is 3. Is that too high? Should it be 2? If you played 3, if you played 3 actions this turn, maybe I need to reword this just a little bit. Like maybe when in this mode and you played your 3rd action for turn, draw a card off the top of your deck. If it is an upgrade, you may play that card. So it's kind of supposed to be symbolic of his tentacle, because he doesn't. They don't have hands. They have tentacles like the other quintessons. If you remember, the big bulbous head, and they have all these tentacles kind of on the bottom as they're floating. He's a little like that. And I did some really good shading on this guy. I took some time way back when recoloring this in the computer and giving him some decent shading. And I was like, wow, sometimes I surprise myself. Excuse me. Sometimes I surprise myself, Captain. So, he is a rare because, and that's the point. I gotta reword this guy. I really do. Should I use this video? Yeah, I'll go ahead and use it. I'll show the corrected stuff up on the screen for you. Each green pip flipped adds +1 to defense for battle. So, and now you're telling me in his bot mode, if I play 3 actions in 1 turn, I can draw a card off the top of my deck, and if it's an upgrade, I can play that? Yes. Might be a bit problematic, but at the same time, if you are playing this with one of my characters and you're not going by quote-unquote tournament rules and you're in casual gaming, because the game is really dead, guys. ATP doesn't care anymore. That you can use brainstorms, you can use field communicators. Confidence, no, because you're not going to be all Autobots anymore. But if you have a 10-star Bumblebee to flip him to get an action played, you're gonna can play an action, flip Bumblebee, play another action, play a field communicator, draw play the top deck of your deck. If it's an action, you can play that. Boom, there's your 3 actions, and then enter queue. As long as he's in bot mode, you can draw another card. You draw a card off the top of your deck. If it's an upgrade, you can play it. So you're drawing it. You can put it in your hand, but if it's an upgrade, you can play it. And you don't have to. I said you may. So you can go ahead and really get some things decked out and worked. So there is that. Being 12 stars, I think you can have that Springer. That might be very dangerous. Very dangerous in casual gameplay. But, green pip cards, War of Attrition, Sonic Scramble, My Scraplets, Focus Fires, Optimus Prime. There's, boom, all those types of cards, and there's more types of those that I think some of the other guys even has made as well. So you play, you hold all those green pip cards that you've been getting on the flip. You get your War of Attritions all in play. 1, 2, 3. Enter queues in bot mode. Draw the top card of your deck. If it's an upgrade, boom, you can play it. If it's a field communicator, boom, you can. And it's on a specialist. Guess what? He's a specialist. Yeah, little strong, I know. Maybe he's too strong, but that's why I also, I may go back. I'm gonna go back. He's still gonna have his same abilities. I'm not gonna change that, but I really wanted to have this guy. He has no bold. He has no tough. He does have stealth when untapped, only in alt mode. but he has 0 defense. Only you're going to be able to get up his defense by flipping. And if you're using all these types of green pip cards in your deck, then you may have a very mixed deck. So you might want to get something on with maybe focus on him, so you know what's coming up next, et cetera, et cetera. Or that, what was that card I recently made, to where as long as it's on a specialist and you do a damage to one of your own, an Autobot and a Decepticon, you can get focus out of up to focus 2 doing that. So things to think about. All right. So that is Inner Q. Up next, let's look at Xanbot. Yes, this is the inspiration for Xanbot about 5 years ago. Has it been that long? It was before 2020. It was before before 2020. I'm conservative. I can't help it. I almost said something that could have got me in trouble. But my son was in Trail Life. He had a thing, and we had never done this before. I had never done this before. I think, I don't remember. I don't know how he did. Oh, my dad helped him out, I think. But I bought it, got him the parts. My dad helped him kind of get one together, and he brought it home. And sometimes I nicknamed him Zan, and so thus the X. And I just was really shocked he did these Autobot Decepticon stickers. He put them together, half blue, half red. So this is the inspiration for, drum roll please, Xanbot. Xanbot is a leader, a car, and a melee. He is an infiltrator? And yeah, I took some liberties. It's not you can tell it's supposed to be like a wooden car thing. It's very cartoony. It's not like my other artwork that I've done here. And even the tires are just sort of gray. But here we have a new car alt mode. Excuse me, an 8-star car character, which we do have plenty of. We do have a lot. Like I mentioned, the 10-star Bumblebee. When you can flip him back to alt mode, you can play another action. You want to get him in with Inner Q and do fun things like that, and just maybe not Daring Escape. But anyway, I can't stop you. Xanbot, attack 3, health of 11, defense of 2. When you flip to this mode, each melee character you control has bold 1 for battle. Maybe it should be end of turn. I might need to go back and change it to end of turn, but I do have it for battle right now. Leader, car, melee. So that's going to get, it's kind of a flame war kind of thing, but it's only your melee characters you're giving bold 1 to. So maybe you might want to have all melee characters on your team, or if you have some that are different in other modes, make sure they're flipped to their melee mode, and then flip Xanbot to alt mode. Boom, give your other melee characters bold 1. I mean, it's not much, but every little bit helps, that's for sure. Flipping him over to bot mode, our infiltrator here. Still leader, still melee. His attack goes up to 5, his defense comes down to 1. When you flip to do this mode, while this is equipped with an armor. So first he does have to have an armor, and then you flip him to bot mode. So you need to watch your order on here, especially if you flipped him to bot mode and then you put an armor on him, you messed up. And your opponent may say, you can't go back and do that, sorry. So, make sure you understand the verbiage down here. Put the armor on first. If it's not already on there, flip him to bot mode and scrap the top card of your deck. If it's a secret action, you may play it. So, yeah. Are secret actions? Abso-smurfly, absolutely. You could pair this guy up with Enter Q. Because an action is still a secret action is still an action. What about a plot action? It's still an action. What about a rolling action? It's still an action. So that's why the main group guys for their tournaments banned Brainstorm. But if you're playing with my guys, you're in a casual game setting. It's Ranma 1/2 anything goes dojo here. Okay, so make your deck accordingly. Like using hijack or something along those lines. Or there's one where if you, it's got cup on it, I think, and it's a secret action that if your opponent plays a white pip action, it doesn't happen, etc., etc. Well, no, hijack is, is if your opponent draws a second card for turn, then you flip your secret action and they don't, and you get to draw a card. So I'm sorry. But I was looking through all the cards, and there is one that does that. Where if you play another action, either you have to. We do have a battle master that if you play more than one action, you have to damage character. So if your opponent has that battle master, you're in trouble with Enter Q. You might be in trouble with Xanbot. Things to think about. So there's that, and especially if you're playing and breaking the 25-star barrier, doing 50 stars or something really crazy. I mean, wow, it'd be a long game, but wow, just things think of the things you can think about, and then you really would not want a 40 card deck anymore. You definitely would need something bigger. So I would think. So that's a Xanbot. So kind of a tribute to my son. And I really like this. I did a little better on his the bot mode here, but as you can tell, this is one of the earlier characters that I colored, so I wasn't quite doing the shading correctly yet. I was kind of using the airspray kind of look through Paint 3D as opposed to going through in variegating, is that the right term here? The type of shading using different colors and using your black and changing the gradient of the see-through on, and I would go through and do, that's the best way to do really good shading. So I didn't know that trick because he was one of the first ones I recolored in the computer. I could probably do him a lot better now, but I'm not worried about it. It looks good. It's playable. Very simple character with some neat twists. For a melee card in a leader, so he can bear the matrix, the regular matrix of leadership, and along with some other interesting, some fun to be had, along with anything melee. So, and you're going to be able to pull off another secret action when you flip him to bot mode with an armor on him. This is the last character. I don't know if he's a triple changer. The story of the Undisclosed Chapter is loosely based around X-Ped-i-Bot, who comes to Earth. The war is still on Earth, so to speak. Let's say the 86 movie never happened. Okay, or maybe it did, and he gets involved. He comes to Earth and he has to find that would have to be current because this is a Honda CR-V 2017 model, I think. So yeah, that kind of puts a chink in things. So he's in modern day on Earth trying to find an Optimus or Rodimus, whoever you want to have the leader, he has to find an Earth mode. But X-Ped-i-Bot is adamant he's going to keep his Cybertron mode. And so this loose story that I've come up with is that he's on an adventure to try to find this material which can only be found on Earth, not Cybertron of all things, to where that he can keep his Cybertron mode and yet still also take on an Earth mode based on Rodimus or Optimus's wishes, which, yeah, is kind of silly considering by 2017 it is after 2005 if we do consider the movie, despite how Hot Rod and Cup and RC and Springer and all them look. Yeah, I know, it's kind of like, really, dude, are you kidding? No, not really. But again, I just watched Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I got to do a review on that, but there was an easy fix to prevent everything that happened in that movie. And if you've already seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I enjoyed the movie. Let's get into X-Ped-i-Bot. I don't want to turn this into a movie review yet. He is ad hoc. It's his function, because originally that was the name I wanted to call him. And then I was doing some depth and found a Transformer character from somewhere in the IP that was also called ad hoc. And I'm like, well, crap. So what do I call this guy? And even though it sounds a little too much like Sped-a-Bot, I wanted to call it X-Ped-i-Bot, which, don't let it get too mixed up with Xanbot. Okay. So that's what he's doing. And he ends up palling around with maybe Backroad, who transforms into the 66 Mustang, and Backroad and another character. Was it Gasline or Trunk? One of those two. And they're all cars from the 60s. Okay. Those are characters based on Earth modes from the 60s. And he has to come up with an Earth mode. And now it's like modern day. And even though the other two stick out a little bit like a sore thumb, considering the cars we have now, he looks like a spaceship. I hate I couldn't get his whole thing in here. Maybe I didn't draw the whole thing. I can't find this artwork either. Yeah, I guess it got deleted by accident. But enough talk. The point is, well, no, let me finish the story. He pals up with, let's say, Gasline and Backroad, and they're having it's supposed to be like a travel adventure on Earth. And most of it is in America. They hit up, my phone thing just released some tension or something. That, let's say it's Rodimus. It's 2017. It's Rodimus. And he tells X-Ped-i-Bot, okay, you have a Cybertron mode, but you have to take on an Earth mode. He wasn't a true triple changer. That was the key. So he has to find this material on Earth. I think I had it in Africa. Ends up being his final destination, to find this material to turn him into a triple changer, because he wasn't one originally. And so he ended up in these other cars based in characters with alt modes based in the 60s are traveling around America, and they're having to find the Guardians, the hidden Guardians. And Rodimus is like, I understand we have some hidden Guardians that are on Earth. You have to find them. They have a clue of what the material is and where you might be able to find it. Well, one of them is Copper. So Copper is an Autobot that I came up with. He turns into a gristmill. He doesn't move much. He normally just stays in alt mode. So they go into the woods of like Virginia or West Virginia, and they find where his energy signature is, but they don't find anything. They just find this gristmill, surrounded by trees, and they're like, well, where's the Guardian? We don't understand. And they transform, and Copper ends up transforming, and they're like, whoa, this is the Guardian. And he, introduces himself. He's Copper. What are y'all doing here? I'm supposed to be incognito. I'm not supposed to transform. I've taken on this form for whatever reasons, because when I came here, it was a certain era, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm a guardian watching over the people of Earth, or watching over the people of this country or whatever, making sure that they are safe. And blah, blah, blah. And and he tells them, oh, well, you're looking for the water guardians. You need to find the water guardians, and they know the coordinate, each have a part of the coordinate to find what you're looking for, so you can turn into a triple changer and keep your Cybertronian mode, if that is so your desire. And so they're like, water guardians, and he doesn't give them names or anything. And he's like, they're other guardians, you must find them. And so the trio, X-Ped-i-Bot and Backroad and Gasline, I'll say that's who it is. And they go and and Copper's like, I'm sorry, that's all I have to say. He transforms and he's silent again. He's back into a grist mill and his wheel is just turning. They're like, you've got to be kidding me. And so they leave a little dejected, trying to figure out who these water guardians of the sky are. And well, it's not hard to figure out if you're a person. They're the water tanks. They're my water tank characters. Waterbolt and oh my gosh, Catwalk, and the other one I almost remembered all three of the characters' names. And they end up having to find them as they're driving around, Americana. In America, they're like, who are we looking for? What kind of clue is this? And they end up finding that they're the water tanks. They're the other guardians. Again, they also rarely ever transform to be truly hidden in plain sight. And so this is like bringing all these characters together to some form or fashion here. So they visit each of the water guardians, each of the water tank characters. They each give them a part of the coordinates, and it leads them to Africa, and he's able to scan or whatever, and on their way to Africa, they come across in parts of America, they come across the Marine War characters. I think I was wanting to, and the Decepticon submarines they come across the submarines in the ocean, and there's a bit of a battle there, I think. And it's just all in my head. I haven't written any of this down. So I really wanted to at least share that with y'all, because this is the overall arc of these characters, which, yeah, it goes beyond my Undisclosed Chapter characters. It even involves my Marina War characters. So I really thought this was just so cool. And I'm like, no one's ever thought of this or done anything like this before. So if you want to steal my idea and steal my characters, go for it. Ask my permission. I don't care. I want these guys to be canon. Which somebody years ago, when I originally was drawing all this art, do you consider your characters canon? I'm like, yes, absolutely. So let's get into X-Ped-i-Bot. Sorry about that side quest there. But he's the star of these characters. And with his last name being an X, like Xanbot here, he's at the bottom of the list. And I thought, this is perfect. I'll save him for last. We're going to go through alphabetically. Yeah, enter Q. Maybe we did go over him originally, but I gotta update him. His verbiage anyway, at least for y'all. For me, if I happen to pull out the game, and anyway. 12 stars, 13, 14, and 1 in alt mode 1. He's a spaceship and ranged in alt mode 1. I can't read it. When this does at least 4 damage to an enemy, put the bottom card of your deck under this. So you're going to want to try to really get him in every mode. You're going to need your UFO cards, your escape routes, your... It starts with an R. Oh my gosh, it's got blur on it. Why can I not remember that card? Any cards that help you flip your characters. So if your opponent knows what you're trying to do, and you have this character, they get cog. They get the what is it, stuck cog or whatever that I've created, and boom! All of a sudden now you can't flip for turn. You can use other cards to flip, but you're not going to be able to flip for turn. So something to think about. So you're going to get cards from under your deck under him, as long as he can do at least 4 damage or more to a character in this mode. With an attack of 3, that's not too hard to do. Alt mode 2, his attack goes up to 5, his defense is still 1. Let's see here. When you flip to this mode, you may play a card from under this, then scrap that card, which it really shouldn't. It should be pretty well known here. And this is his Honda CRV mode, his alt mode 2. So his alt mode 1 is his original, his spaceship. He's a car in melee. So he's spaceship and ranged in alt mode 1. Alt mode 2, he's car and melee. You know, if you get cards under him, you flip him to alt mode 2, you're going to be able to play one of those cards under him. Flip him, he is a rare. Flip him to his bot mode. He's based on the CRV mainly. I mean, I thought I did a great job on this guy, and the windshield is supposed to be behind his head, I believe. I probably could do better with that now that I've figured out more ways on making it if I wanted it behind his head and all that. So looks really cool. You can really tell all the parts of the Honda on here, and I really wanted to accentuate the brake lights because you rarely see the back of the cars on the front of the bots. And I really wanted to do that with some of mine, you know, like Teaspoon and maybe Gasline or whoever. I wanted to do that with X-Ped-i-Bot. So you're seeing the back of the car and the back windshield here split apart. So in this mode, he's specialist and melee. Nice. So he is not just ranged, he's ranged, melee, and specialist in melee. So he covers all 3 traits with a triple changer. His attack is now 4, comes down to 4. His defense is 0 in bot mode. This gets bold 1 for each card under this until end of turn. Nice. I didn't put a max for cards to go under him, but with a 12-star character with 14 health is kind of average, kind of low. I didn't want to give him too much health to where you could, because you're going to be trying to attack in alt mode 1 as much as you can. If you want to play some of the cards under him, you flip him to alt mode 2, etc. And then, you know, if you have cards under cards under him is going to add to his overall bold in this mode. Notice he does not have bold, he does not have pierce, he does not have tough, he does not have stealth, he does not have brave, he does not have drift, grift, or anything else. Okay, I just wanted to make so he's a little simple. Whew, we went over 30 minutes. I apologize. So he's a little simple, but I feel like he should be kind of fun to play with. In trying to get some weapons on him, get him some, you know, play some supercharges, maybe have a bit of an aggressive deck, and get him trying to you know, get that 4 damage plus on your enemy characters in his alt mode 1 to get some cards under him from under your deck to be able to flip him over and have him get a good chunk or a good bite out of crime here. And if you've noticed, yeah, his attack is only 4 in bot mode for a 12-star character. Kind of low. I did that on purpose. His highest is in his Honda mode at alt mode 2 with 5. It's all a little different, 3, 5, and 4. So, you know, deal with it as you are. Could there be some tricks possible with him? Yeah, but at the same time, he also has 0 defense. So you're going to need some defense with this guy. Or maybe some of those black pip cards that add more health as well. So are you going to go with an aggressive deck or a more defensive deck to help with his defense? Maybe some black pip cards to help with his health. I don't know. You may end up finding yourself, like I do a lot, with mixed decks. And those are just so fun. But yeah, this has been and I just want to say a big thank you to any of y'all that have been following me this whole time with all these undisclosed characters. undisclosed chapter characters. And these guys have their own story. These have their own story. Interqueue, I don't know. I just wanted to make a Quintesson. I really just wanted to make a Quintesson. What do you think? Let me know. Interqueue, yeah, I got to update a little text on him. Xanbot, I might need to update a little. Whoa, I bumped the camera. Yeah, I think he's fine, really. Each melee character you control has bold 1 for battle. When you flip, yeah, he should be fine. He should be fine. But what do you think? Throw scraplets at that like button, which is another action card with the green pip that you can also play 3 all at the same time. Yeah, I like my scraplet card. But again, if they don't have a total defense of 3, or at least you can't play all 3 of them. Or it's not going to help you break any more defense, because defense can't be less than 0. But if you do play all 3 of them, you could still, even if their total defense is only 2, yeah, you could still utilize Interqueue's bot mode ability, I guess. What do you think? We'll see you next time. Throw scraplets at that like button. As always.
Oh, Prime, is that all? Really? Focus fires, Optimus Prime. Focus fires.